I've been into ESP8266 lately, and I made a project to use at home, so I thought I'd share about it. So this is a temperature sensor plus heater on-off kind of system. I guess I should take that part too. So let me introduce the pieces. Here's a Wemos D1 Mini. Here are two ESP01s or ESP01Ss, and here is a RF wall plug, and here is an RF transmitter that I use to turn it on. Thanks to BitLooney for giving me the idea. And here's a temperature sensor connected to the Wemos D1 Mini. So what's going on here? This Wemos, as you can see, I got the temperature sensor connected there. I soldered in directly earlier, but then that wasn't a good idea because it's not holding the plastic. So I put this connector there directly, and that's the resistor for the temperature sensor. And here, down here, I got a wire that lets it wake up from deep sleep. So this is, just wanted to play with deep sleep a little bit with that. And that deep sleeps, and every 5 minutes it sends a temperature reading to cloudmqtt.com. I just used it for now. Maybe I'll switch to a home MQTT server plus perhaps Node-RED, but for now it's just cloudmqtt is everything here. And this Jankush Temp, this is my 3-year-old's nickname, Jankush. His temperature reading is being pushed here all the time. And you can see this Jankush calorifer is whether the heater is on or off. And this RF is whether we sense the RF signal or not. But this one just sends a temperature. These are the last 3 temperature readings that it had sent. So let's see what else is going on. Okay, so here is how I'm powering it. So this is a Wemos D1 Mini. It's just a USB cable is powering it. But the other beast here is powered. I got, hacked the USB cable a little bit. Got the 5 volts out of there. And then that 5 volts is being fed into this buck converter. I adjusted it so it's outputting 3.3 volts. And that 3.3 volts is coming here. And feeding both of these ESP01s, ESP01Ss, and the RF transmitter. So what's going on here? This one over here is turning on and off the RF wall plug. Okay, mains power. Why am I using this instead of a regular relay myself? Because I don't want to mess with mains power. I want this to be a safe system as much as possible. So I'm outsourcing the main stuff to this little device that's normally controlled with a remote like this, but with the RC switch library, I'm able to control it with this little guy over here, the RF transmitter, 433 megahertz RF transmitter. And this antenna here, I looked it up online. Somebody said that's a good way to do it, so I guess I don't know the range. I just tested it like less than a meter so far. Anyway, so what's going on? So the temperature is going to CloudMQTT. This guy on top is receiving the temperature and making a decision whether the heater should be on or turned off. And as it makes that decision, it sends this Jankush calorifer on or off to MQTT. That's the responsibility of this. So it reads the temperature, sends whether the heater should be on or off. Why did I do it in a separate ESP? Because I'll probably put it to Node-RED later, but for now this is a separate one. If I want to change the thresholds, I'll just reprogram this one, and I don't have to touch anything else. So, by the way, sorry for the unfortunate shape of this. I hope it doesn't remind you of any bad symbols, but this is how it ended up being. So after that Jankush calorifer, the heater on or off goes to CloudMQTT. By the way, these are persistent messages, so they don't have to be sent and read at the same time. Anyway, so this other guy listens to that, subscribes to that, and turns the RF on or off. So when this sees that there's a Jankush calorifer on, at the moment it's off, when it sees that it's on, it's sent through this. As you can see, it is connected to the RX leg of the ESP. You can see it over here, the RX leg. On top over here, you can see I'm using it as an output. If you don't use the serial, you can use that. So I'm using that, and through that, this RF transmitter is transmitting so that this turns on or off. At the moment, it's off, and as you can see, and every time it turns on or off, it writes RF on, RF off. So I'll just send a manual MQTT message now, Cankush temp. For example, let's say it's 18 degrees. I think it was 23 and 28 was the range that I put there. So it's 18 degrees will be below. So as you heard, this guy just turned on. And what happened? Temperature is 18. This guy on top decided that yes, the heater should be on. And this other guy over here read that the heater should be on and actually turned on the heater with this RF on. And this guy turned on. So let's every 5 minutes this guy sends something. So let us send a higher temperature, 29 for example. By the way, if you send like 25, it doesn't do anything within that range. So 29, it turned off. What happened? 29, Cankush Qualifier off, RF off. So this is the system. Has 3 ESPs, one Wemos D1 Mini, 2 ESP01s. These are tiny, great little devices. And I used cables from a Cat5 cable. It's stiff like this, so it ended up in a nice shape. I had used cheaper cables with multi-cores, and I had all kinds of RF issues with that. But this one is working pretty smoothly. And yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. But this was my latest project. I'm excited to put it to actual use.